All right, welcome back. So in the last video, we went ahead and went to Remuldar, um, leveled up a whole bunch, got some brand new weapons and armor, and finally found the Keymaster. So as you can see now, I've got 6 of those magic keys. Um, this video is going to focus on the Rocky Mountain Cave. I may break it up into 2 parts just to keep the videos a bit shorter. But I wanted to start off with actually going around and using some of the keys that we've gathered here in Brecconary Town and Tentacle Castle. Um, so a couple of the doors we haven't been able to open here in the inn. I don't believe there's anything. Nope. However, you can talk to this guy. Uh, Again, he's going to tell us about the golem being put to sleep by some fairies, um, and saying, somewhere in the world there's that kind of power. Well, we already have it. It's the fairy flute. So again, just a clue for later in the game that we're going to need to put the golem to sleep using that fairy flute. Um, Otherwise, up here, there's another door, and really all this does is get us in here to buy repels. Um, I'm not going to waste my time with that. You can if you want. But that's all there is here in Brecconary Town. However, here in Tentacle Castle, that one room that had, what was it, 4 chests? It's just been taunting us this whole time. We can finally go in here. So go ahead and talk to this guy. He's going to try and shame you into not stealing all of the treasure. Just go ahead and ignore him at this point. Um, there's 343 gold, magic key to replace the one we just used, seed of magic, and seed of agility. So we've already gotten 2 stat boosting items. Again, unlucky, just got +1 for agility. And again, unlucky, just got +3 to magic. I am really doing terrible with those in this playthrough, but that's okay. Coming up here, a couple things. You got this guy who he'll sell you keys. Obviously the first set was 16 per key. This one's 24. I'm just gonna load back up. I don't believe I'll actually need that many keys for the remainder of the game, but just better be safe than sorry. Here is a different type of damaging tile. So sort of like how the swamp tiles damage you 1 HP per step. These clearly do a lot more. That's 14 per step. So that'll knock you off pretty quick. So here, this guy's just telling us when we go back up to Galenholm, and we're trying to ultimately find the Lyre of Ire, the Silver Harp, whatever they call it in this one. He's actually telling us that there's a spot in the wall, and it'll make sense when we get there, where it'll just look like a black space. You actually have to walk through it because there's no doorway. It doesn't show you where to go. Again, this is more a relic of the old NES version, where there weren't as many visual cues as to what we needed to do to progress, but still helpful NPC. Not nearly as helpful as that one guy in Remuldar, but that's okay. All right. One last thing to take care of before we leave. Here's another person telling us about rain and sun and the rainbow. If we come on down here, if you hadn't noticed this before, there's actually a stairwell all the way over here. Go ahead and talk to this gentleman. And he's kind enough to let us take the Sunstone as our birthright. And this guy actually isn't just the descendant of some old sage. This is actually the gentleman himself. And he says that we remind him of the legendary hero himself. Let's go ahead and talk to this guy. Yeah, here he's saying right there once again, he recalls what Urgic looked like, and we look like him. So that means that this guy has literally been standing here for hundreds of years, if you want to believe what he's saying. Um, so that's pretty cool. We already got the Sunstone. Next, all we're going to need is that Rain Staff. First, we got to get that Lyre of Ire, and then we can finally get that Rainbow Drop. So let me go ahead and use the Seed of Life. We can back on out. All right. So at this point, since I really have no need of a couple of these story items, I'm actually going to go ahead and deposit them just to make space in my inventory. So I'm going to drop that Sunstone off. Generally, I would not recommend entrusting legendary items to strangers. That being said, the vault here is pretty good at not losing your things. I'm just going to go ahead and throw the Chimera Wing in there as well. Cover some of that MP. And now we can set on out. So, once again, we're going to the Rocky Mountain Cave. It's really just about due west of where we are now, but unfortunately we got to wrap up, go around the mountains, the water. We got to go across that bridge that we were training by at the beginning of the game, and then it'll just be a short walk south. All right, so go around the swamp tiles, and here we are at the cave itself. So by this point, you should have the glow spell. If you don't, dear Lord, how have you made it this far? But go ahead and cast that. You're pretty much starting off in the middle of the map. It's just a giant square. It's a whole maze in here. If you have difficulties figuring it out, go online. They got maps that'll help you. Just be sure that if you're playing the Switch version, you're looking for the remake maps as opposed to the original NES maps. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm actually going to walk along the outer edge here to start out. So obviously I made my way to the top wall. Now I'm walking over to the eastern wall, and then we're just going to be heading straight south. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get the one chest on this floor. It should be some gold, but really that's all there is here on this floor. And then you're going to have a couple options. I'll talk you through them real quick. All right, so with that, go around this little lake again. So here I'm at a T. I'm sorry, this T. I can either go left and then use a magic key to go down to the next floor, or I can walk all the way around up to the top, which is what I'm actually going to do, and save that magic key. Only reason I'm doing that is it puts me closer to some of the chests down on the lower floor. Either way works. You would just, on that next floor, have to walk straight north. Instead, I'm just doing it here on this floor. All right, so we are now on the bottom level. There's only 2 floors to this cave, so we're actually almost done already. Walking across the top of the floor here, there's going to be 2 2 chests. And go ahead and cast the glow spell again if yours runs low. So I just picked up 536 gold, not too bad. And in case you haven't noticed, the monsters here really don't pose much of a threat. That's the second stage ghost. You also saw the lunatic already. Here we're just seeing the first stage skeleton. Obviously we've already seen the skeleton scrapper, so we're used to stronger monsters than these. Alright, so we got those 2 chests along the north end. Now we're going to make our way south and hit the center chests. If you think all the way back to Galenholm or Garenham, and you think about the weapons shop there, you may recall that they sell an iron shield for, I think it was like 800 gold. I never went back and bought it, and the reason I never bought it is because I knew that coming in here, we would actually find the iron shield, which is going to be right here. So it saves us 800 gold. It's a nice upgrade. How much do we get? Plus 6 defense. So it's almost, well, that's over 10% at that point. So a nice little upgrade there. Next item here in the center is going to be, I think they call it the fighter's ring in this game. All right, the warrior's ring. And what's really cool about this one is it's worn by a warrior who fought with the legendary hero. This isn't one that actually is directly attributed to the legendary hero himself. So that's kind of cool. It's not like Erdrick's ring. It's just some guy who apparently was just an absolute animal. Who now his ring is stored in this little throne room. Unfortunately, it doesn't really do anything. Reading online, apparently it was supposed to increase your attack. It doesn't do that. Some places that you'll read say it impacts your critical hit ratio. I haven't really seen that either. However, I still think it's a pretty cool item. Plus, this is an awesome room to store it in. But that's it from the center chests. We're now going to go down here and hit the bottom 2 chests. And I'm actually going to need to open up some space, I believe. So here we got the Seed of Strength, and I believe this one's magic. Yep, Seed of Magic. So again, got plus 3 strength and plus 3 magic. All right, so in this cave, we were able to get that strength seed, that acorn of magic. We were able to get that fighter's ring or warrior's ring, and that iron shield. Back in Tanticle Castle, we got a couple of stat boosters there. So all around, a fairly successful run. So with that, we're done. There's nothing else to this cave. It's real short and sweet. Obviously, the monsters didn't pose any real threat to us. I'm just going to cast evac and back on out. And that's where I'm going to call it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to go ahead and make my way up to Galenholm or Garenham, and we're going to try and get us the Lyre of Ire. So please stay tuned. That's going to be a bit more complicated of a cave, but thanks for watching.